Hey there, I'm Matt Gresh. I'm going to show you how to run and operate our sound audio board here at PTech, the Soundcraft Venue 2 mixer board. First things first, we must turn on the audio board by switching on the power source at the bottom of the rack. Okay, now we're ready to rock. Next, we must identify the functions of all these little knobs and faders. Let's look at what is called the channel strips. The Soundcraft has 38 of these strips that raise, lower, route, and manipulate the audio signal. This is where most of the work is done. The little red knob at the top of the strip is called the gain knob. It is used to set the input level. Input signals may come into the board at different levels. You need to make adjustments here first to be able to set up the channel strip for unity, leaving enough headroom for the signal. The plus 48 volt switch is used to power phantom powered microphones, usually condenser mics. The L1 or line switch is used to select the line level coming into the module. When this switch is not selected, the mic input is used. The high-pass filter switch is used to insert a 100 Hz second-order filter immediately after the input amplifier. The phase switch is used to reverse the phase of the selected input. The normal position for all switches is up or off. Under these switches are gray and black knobs called the 4-band equalizers. They have control over 4 different bands of frequency. The 6 different knobs control these 4 different bands. The top HF, or high frequency knob, increases or decreases the 12 kHz frequency plus or minus 15 decibels. The second knob selects which high-mid frequency from 0.6 to 10 kHz to increase or decrease with the following knob. The third knob increases or decreases the selectable high-mid frequencies plus or minus 15 decibels. The fourth and fifth knobs do the same with the low-mid or low-mid-range frequencies 0.15 to 2.5 kHz. The sixth knob increases or decreases the 60 Hz frequencies. The lighted EQ switch turns the EQ on and off. Next are the 6 auxiliary knobs that are located beneath the equalizer knobs. They allow you to send the signal on that module through different circuitry to a different location. Each pair work together typically as a stereo pair, left and right. The pre button allows each pair to be selected as pre-fader auxiliary. This means a signal will be fed to the selected auxiliary before the fader is used. Thus, the signal is always there regardless of what the fader is doing. Without the switch pressed, the circuitry is an after-fader listen or post-fader listen, and the signal will not increase, decrease, or pass until the fader is used. The DIR or direct switch allows auxiliary 6 knob to do another job. When the switch is engaged, the direct out is controlled by the auxiliary 6 knob. The normal position for these knobs is 0 or off to the left. Beneath that is the pan knob. This directs the channel strip's output to the left, the channel 1 output, or to the right, the channel 2 output, or anywhere in between. The knob's normal position is usually straight up, thus sending that channel strip's signal out evenly to the left and the right. To turn on the pan switch, press down on it and you will see the indicator light turn on. Press down on it again and it'll turn it off. Off is the normal position. Then there is the mix switch. This lighted button routes the post-fader output of the channel strip directly to the left and right main mixer output, thus bypassing the groups or submixes. These 8 illuminated routing switches route the channel strip to the individual 8 group or submix buses. Used with the pan knob, the signal may be routed to the selected output groups by panning right or left. The normal position for both of these switches is usually off. Under that, the lighted PFL or pre-fader listen switch feeds the pre-fade signal to the headphones or control room, replacing the selected monitor switch. The lighted on switch turns the channel strip on and activates the pre- and post-fade auxiliary, routing, and direct outputs. The normal position for these switches is up or off. The lighted muting switches allow the channel strip status to be controlled by 4 master mute buses on the master module. Mute selection is made by 4 individual switches, and the channel strip is muted whenever the corresponding mute master is pressed on the master module. The mute system has no effect when all switches are released. The safe switch allows the channel strip to be isolated from the mute system. All switches are up or off when the board is normalized. This is called the VU meter. This 8-segment VU meter shows a graduated scale from negative 20 decibels to 0, and 5 decibels to 10, and 15 decibels. The indicated level reflects post-EQ and post-insert. Anytime a signal is feeding the channel strip with at least negative 20 decibels, the lights will activate. Thus, there is no normal indication for this meter. The fader controls the signal output of the channel strip. With the fader at the bottom of its slide run, the signal is not leaving the channel strip. When the fader is run up to about 3/4 of the way up, the fader is at its normal setting. This leaves a little room to increase the level that is output, and allows for a smooth fade down to silence. The normal position for the fader is all the way down. The Soundcraft Venue 2 has one stereo module installed. The main difference is that it controls both the left and right of the incoming signal on one module. The B switch allows you to select an alternative B input to the module. The width knob is continuously variable control, which allows the width of the stereo signal to be varied from mono through stereo to phase enhanced wide stereo. Width normal position is center in the detent. The balance knob, unlike the pan knob, determines the relative level of the left and right signals. The center position is its normal position. Turning the knob fully right increases the right signal by 4.5 decibels and totally kills the left side signal. Turning the knob left does the opposite. There are two modules that make up the master section of the Soundcraft audio board. First is the dual group and stereo return module and the main master module. Each of the group or submaster pairs has a module. Since there are 8 groups or submixes, this makes for 4 of these modules. This module also controls stereo returns, routing, and metering. There is also one main master stereo module that controls the main mix-out, as well as monitoring, auxiliaries, oscillator, stereo returns, talkback, and muting. The return switch allows the stereo return signal to be metered. The stereo switch, when activated, will feed the group's signals to the stereo mix main master as stereo signals, where the odd groups or submixes are left and the even groups are right. The two mix switches route the group's post-fade signals as mono signals to the stereo main master mix bus. The PFL, pre-fader listen group, is accessed individually by each of the left and right designated switches. There are 2 faders on this module, one for the left signal and one for the right signal. These aux knobs feed the main mix to each auxiliary. These levels can be conveniently monitored by using the auxiliary send AFL switches. A 1 kHz tone is provided on this circuit, which feeds the tone to all the groups or submixes and auxiliary buses at a level set by the oscillator knob. The on switch engages the circuitry. With the use of the switches, talkback can be routed to either auxiliary send 1 and 2 or to all buses. This audio board comes with an overbridge metering console. This features UV metering for all 8 groups or submixes and 2 additional VU meters for the main mix left and right output. Well, those are all the operations for the Soundcraft Venue 2 mixer board. Thanks for watching.